Welcome to our first meeting of the year of the House State Government Committee. I know we started just a couple of minutes late. We were waiting for a few members to come from other committees to make sure we had a quorum. As my rule is, as the chairman, I always want us to open up with prayer and a pledge of allegiance, and I'm going to ask Representative Thompson to please open us with prayer. If the members will please stand with me, and those in the audience, if you don't mind, then we will do the pledge.
Let us pray. Dear Heavenly Father, we come to you in prayer today. We just want to thank you very much for the opportunity to be here to do your will. We just pray for this committee, pray for the entire General Assembly and all of our leaders at the state, local, and federal level. Just pray for your guidance and direction in everything that we do. We pray all this in Jesus' name. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much, and again, welcome to the very first meeting of the year of the House State Government Committee. Madam Secretary, would you please call the roll at this time?
Representative Decker, Representative Donworth, Representative Gentry, Representative Griffey.
Here.
Representative Hancock.
Here.
Representative Hodgson.
Here.
Representative Huff. Representative Imes.
Here.
Representative Johnson.
Here.
Representative Lehman. Representative Lewis. Representative Maddox.
Here.
Representative Proctor. Representative Tate.
Here.
Representative Thompson.
Here.
Representative Tipton.
Here.
Representative Williams.
Here.
Representative Witten.
Here.
Vice Chair Raymer. Chair Hale.
Present. We do have a quorum today, and we're constituted to do business. This afternoon, again, I want to say welcome to everyone and to all the members on the committee today. One of our new members, I don't think is actually with us yet. Maybe he will come in a little bit later. Representative Gentry, if he comes in, I will publicly acknowledge him if he's able to make it today. But just to open up before we go to the first item on the agenda, just a few rules to go over as we begin the committee meeting process this year being our first. For anyone that would like to speak against or for a piece of legislation, and I'm talking about folks that would sign up to do that, when we convene the meeting, I'm going to ask if we will not allow any more individuals to sign up once we convene the meeting. But if an individual comes and wants to speak either for or in opposition to a specific bill that we're hearing that day, they must be signed up prior to us convening. After that, we will not accept any other individuals to speak after the meeting begins. Please, as always, I just ask everyone to silence their cell phones during the meeting. For those in the room, please do that as well. To the members, if you have questions and comments that you would like to ask the presenter, I would graciously ask you, of course, first to see some of our staff here, and they can get you on the list. And as you're on the list, we will go down that list and make sure everyone gets their questions asked before we go back again. But if you do have a follow-up question, I certainly will allow that. But I definitely ask you, please, if you have a follow-up question, to please run that follow-up question back through the chair so we can have decorum in the meeting. And certainly we want to do that. I want to respect everyone's opinion, and I will do that. I will give everyone time to speak, whether they're for or against a measure. I want us to show respect to each member. If you've been a part of this committee, this is my fourth year doing this, and you have seen me actually gavel down members of my own party and members of the other party, so I will not hesitate to do that if our decorum gets out of hand. So thank you all today for being with us. I also want to recognize our staff before we begin today. Our staff is very important to us, And I want to recognize them, Brad Gross, Daniel Carter, Peggy Santarelli, Shannon Tubbs, Christina Gordley, Jesse Farler, Michael Clancy, and Sean Sparks. And Miss Peggy, I'm sorry if I'd got your name pronounced incorrect there. If you had a simple name like mine, okay, we could do it much better. But we do appreciate the staff and their work that they do for us. We have 3 items on our agenda today that we're going to bring up for consideration. We have had a little bit of a change, and the very first item on our agenda today with Representative Hodgson's, this is House Bill 66, and Representative Hodgson has asked me if he could approach the committee today with just a few minutes of discussion. We are not going to vote on this bill today. There's probably going to be, he says, some floor amendments brought to this after we get the committee subs done. So Representative Hodgson, I told you I'd give you about 10 minutes if you need that long, and if not, go ahead. But this specific bill right here, HB 66, will be for discussion only today. So if you'll please identify yourself for the record, though, and proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. John Hodgson, District 36, State Rep. So we have a bunch of state boards and commissions, probably close to 400.
Is your mic on, sir?
I think so. I guess.
Just pull it a little bit
All right.
closer because we're having a little bit of
I'm going
trouble.
to have poor posture here, sir. My mother would be ashamed. But we have something close to 400 state boards and commissions. There are any number of city, county, regional boards and things like that out there. I don't even know if anybody has a complete cataloging of them. Prior to COVID, almost everybody conducted their board meetings in person. During COVID and emergency measures, we started using team meetings, Zoom, WebEx, things like that, and doing a lot of things online. And subsequently, I believe that we passed a law that said any agency, including boards and commissions, can conduct a meeting via electronic means. Well, I think that's good, and there are cost savings to be had. We may not really have a uniform rule. Our forum here, we have a quorum of human beings in this room where we can engage with each other. The chair can gavel down unruly members. We have members of the audience that can participate, and there's an eye-to-eye contact in here that I think is important when we're making law and regulation. So I filed this bill the first day of the first week of session, and didn't get any comment until we had it scheduled for the meeting, and within the 24-hour rule, and then I got quite a bit of comment. So with your indulgence, I'll just explain what we're trying to get done, and I'll come back in here at another time with a revised wording. But in simple terms, there are a lot of boards that the nature of their work is purely advisory, informational, routine business transactions, and maybe individual cases like approving someone's renewal of their real estate license. I think it's perfectly fine, and I hope you would agree, for those boards to conduct their meetings entirely electronically so that we do not incur travel expenses and we don't take people away from their jobs and driving all the way from Pikeville to get here. However, there are public agencies that deal with enormous sums of money, and they make law, they make regulation, they affect taxation, they approve multi-million-dollar grants. And I believe that we ought to set a line and say that for those groups, they should have a quorum of human beings in the room to conduct a meeting, even if a couple of their members have to come in electronically due to something, unless there's a state of emergency declared. We're going to say we're going to have the public meeting, we're going to have in a public forum, we're going to have discussion, but it's okay if a few people come in electronically due to some circumstance, unless we have a weather emergency. And also, in addition here, as we move to more electronic means, we would require these agencies to produce a list on their website of all the members, their expiration date, and some way to contact them. Because it's important for the public to be able to give agencies and boards feedback. If they can't show up in person and they don't have a means to contact them electronically, how do they have their voice heard? So that's really what I'm trying to achieve. The words we had on the bill apparently caused a problem with some individual committees, but the message is just that the things that are very simple and routine in nature, we can do completely electronically, save that money in a budget crunch time. But if we're dealing with large, complex issues, laws, taxation, that we would have a quorum of human beings in the room to discuss these things. Because right now, any agency could do it at any time for any reason with all their members participating electronically. And with that discussion, I'd love to have some questions, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, sir, for that explanation. You did well. 4.5 minutes. This is, again, a little bit irregular to just just to have discussion on this once we start the actual committee process, but I certainly appreciate Representative Hodgson asking me to delay this somewhat. Do we have any questions from any of the members concerning anything that he spoke? Representative Tipton, please go ahead, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Just a brief comment and a question. I appreciate you bringing this forward. You know, with modern technology, this has certainly been advantageous for a lot of people, but I do have concerns that sometimes it's overused, because there are times when boards need to meet in persons, when members of the public have an opportunity to come forward. Now, my question is this legislation dealing strictly with boards, commissions at the state level, or does it also include those that might occur there are many boards and commissions at the county level, even city councils, things like that, legislative bodies? How does that work?
Yes, sir. It would affect all of those. There's a definition of public agency in the KRS that is boards and commissions, but it's also public agencies, school boards, county commissions, all the way down. So,
Thank you. I have one more follow-up, Mr. Chair.
Yes, please.
Now, on Section 3, you're dealing with the Strategic Committee on Post-Secondary Education. You make a one-word addition in there. It's my understanding that group has not met in many, many years. So there's a bill coming that's going to strike them, so don't get too worked up if we do that. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
yes, sir, I would share the goal that there are a number of these things that we do need to strike, that they no longer perform a function.
Anyone else? Seeing no further questions or comments, thank you, Representative Hodgson, for your presentation. We look forward to seeing you back soon, we hope.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
I also want to mention I'd like to welcome my vice chair, Representative Raymer, that has just came out of another committee that she was on, and I appreciate her work very much as we work together in deciding the bills that we are attempting to hear this year. The next item on the agenda today is House Bill 213. It's sponsored by Representative Emily Callaway. House Bill 213 is an act relating to reemployment of retired police officers. So, Representative Callaway, I see you have some guests with you at the table today. If you would please all introduce yourselves, and then we do have a committee substitute that we need to adopt. So go ahead and introduce yourself for the record, please.
Thank you, Chairman. State Representative Emily Callaway from 37th District.
I'm Gracie Kelly. I'm the Director of Government Affairs for the Kentucky League of Cities.
I'm Brandon Lincoln, Vice President, Kentucky State FOP.
All right. Thank you all again for being with us today. We do have there is a committee substitute to this bill. Is there a motion to adopt the committee substitute? There is a motion. Is there a second? There is a second. All in favor of adoption of the committee sub, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? The committee substitute is now adopted. So, Representative Callaway, you may proceed with House Bill 213 as amended by your committee substitute. Proceed.
Thank you, Chairman. So it was brought to my attention that we have young police officers who have retired, have put in service, and as they want to re-enter the workforce, specifically the enforcement workforce, they're encountering some barriers to do that. And in fact, agencies that are wanting to rehire retired law enforcement agents are running into similar barriers. They would also like to incentivize these retired law enforcement officers. And so what we want to do with this bill is to just remove some barriers, allow the local agencies, cities, counties, universities, any hiring agency of law enforcement to be able to offer benefits, health benefits, and that would be in lieu of retirement benefits. Sometimes it's just a better plan if it's offered from the private sector instead of the public. So this actually reduces barriers in this way, and I'll tell you what it does, and then I'll tell you what it doesn't do. So it does amend statutes specifically crafted for rehiring of retirees. It doesn't have to do with the tier system. It doesn't have to do with the retirement program. This is strictly looking at what do we need to do to get our retired law enforcement agents back to work. Excuse me. And one of the qualifiers right now stands in that statute that you have to put in 20 years of service. That doesn't have to do with your retirement. You have to have established a retirement, whatever that tier, whatever that qualifier is, But for this specific rehiring, you have to meet 15 years instead of 20. So that's what we're looking to do with that one. And then your terms of employment, instead of requiring agencies to contribute to our retirement program, this would be a may. They may contribute, but they do not have to. They may also offer their health benefits. So those are the main changes, and it focuses on some specific asks. I do want to thank FOP Brandon. He's been absolutely key in discussions on our behalf of the officers at KLC. Gracie is prioritized advocating for our police officer agencies and for cities. So I appreciate both of them. This is a priority to make happen. And I'll tell you real quickly what it does not do. It doesn't allow for any kind of double dipping. I know that was a fear when some of these statutes were put in place. We have a lot of really good statutes to look out for that. This does not allow for double dipping. I've already addressed that. It does not have any quantified fiscal impact. I did attach for the original bill the actuarial analysis. I did not request one for the committee sub simply because there were no fundamental changes. And so it's just going to be a material based on this as well, because the only addition included universities. So originally we have sheriff's office, police officers, we've added universities. So those are the agencies that we're focused on here. Those are the only ones that we've addressed. They want to be able to be rehired, and agencies want to have some flexibility in rehiring. So that's what it does, and that's what it doesn't do. I'll take any questions or
Motion
if
on
my
the bill.
guests like to speak.
There has been a motion on the bill, and there was a second. Before we ask questions, or before we allow questions, does either one of your guests have anything you'd like to add to that?
I'll be very brief. I just want to
Yes.
say thank you all for hearing this bill. And it's very important from a recruiting standpoint. This will help. As you all know, we're short law enforcement officers all around the state. So it's not just your larger cities, your Louisville, your Lexington, your Owensboroughs. It's all around. So this will help tremendously by just allowing the city to make the choice to help out or not, budgeted or not. Thank you.
All right, I think Representative Tipton, you are up again, sir. Please go right ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Appreciate this presentation. Representative Callaway probably already knows the question that I'm going to ask her, as we talked about this yesterday. Has this House bill been presented to the Public Pension Oversight Board for review?
It has not. We're doing things a little out of order this time. I have had conversations about it, so we will go forward as I'm advised.
Could I comment on that, Mr. Chair?
Yes, you certainly may.
Just so the public knows and the members know, for the last few years, it's not a written rule, but it's kind of an unwritten rule that leadership has agreed to, that any pension bill, before it goes through the General Assembly, it needs to be reviewed by the Public Pension Oversight Board. We had a lot of years things were added last minute, and guess what? They wound up adding to the unfunded liability. It's just a matter of practice. There is a February meeting coming up, so I appreciate your cooperation in that, and look forward to hearing from you there. And if there are any other members that have pension bill related bills that they want to present, I would advise you to reach with staff and the co-chairs to get that on their agenda. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Are there any other questions? Seeing no further questions, we have had a motion and a second on House Bill 213 as was amended by the committee substitute. Madam Secretary, would you please call the roll at this time?
Representative Decker,
Yes.
Representative Donworth, Representative Gentry,
I'll explain my vote, please.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
And please record me as coming out. Yeah, I-64 East is shut down this morning for those that don't know it, so it's pretty rough right now. I missed the presentation. I have read the bill. I'm very supportive of FOP and shortages that are out there. And in lieu of one of my colleagues and talking about it needs to go through the pension board first, I'm going to pass this morning, but make sure everything's done correctly through the pension board. But I'm fairly supportive of the idea.
Representative Griffey,
Yes.
Representative Hancock,
Yes.
Representative Hodgson, Representative Huff, Representative Imes, Representative Johnson,
Yes.
Representative Lehman, Representative
Yes.
Lewis,
Mr. Chairman, I'm a yes. Can I also please record my attendance today?
Did Representative Lehman, did they get your vote? Representative Lehman was a yes. Okay.
Representative Lewis.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I'm a yes. Can I also please record my attendance? Thank you.
Okay. Representative Maddox,
Yes.
Representative Proctor,
Yes, and I also need to record my attendance. Thank you.
Representative Raymer,
Yes, and please record my attendance.
Representative Tate, Representative Thompson,
Yes.
Representative Tipton,
Explain my vote, Mr. Chair.
Yes.
I'm supportive of this measure, but I'm going to be a pass today and look forward to the opportunity to hear it in PBOB and vote yes on the floor.
Representative Williams,
Yes.
Representative Witten,
Yes.
Representative Imes,
Yes.
Chair Hale.
Yes. We have 16 yes votes, 2 pass votes on this specific bill. This bill should pass with favorable expression, or it has passed with favorable expression and should do the same on the House floor. Thank you, Representative Callaway, for your presentation and your guests with us today. Before we move to the third item, I want to take just a moment to welcome our newest member of the State Government Committee, Representative Gentry. We're glad to have you with us today, and I know this is your first meeting on this committee, but we're honored that you joined us as a part of us, and we appreciate you being here today. I know you said the roads was kind of bad coming in, or with the traffic block, but we welcome you to the committee today.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
All right, the last item on our agenda today is House Bill 314, which is sponsored by Representative Matt Lockett. House Bill 314 is an act relating to the Kentucky Communications Network Authority and declaring an emergency. Representative Lockett, would you please introduce yourself, and then we do have a committee substitute to adopt.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My name is Matt Lockett. I'm the state representative out of the 39th District.
There is a committee substitute to House Bill 314. Is there a motion for acceptance?
Motion on a committee sub.
There was a motion by Representative Johnson, a second by Representative Whitten. All in favor of the adoption of the committee substitute, please say aye. Any opposed? You now, Representative Lockett, the committee substitute has been adopted. You may proceed explaining to us House Bill 314 as amended by the committee substitute.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. As many of you know, I co-chair the Information Technology Oversight Committee. And over the interim, my Senate counterpart and I dedicated all of our meetings to trying to gain a clearer picture of how the Kentucky Wired project is actually being managed. And throughout those meetings, we heard from the Department of Education, several last mile providers, and multiple vendors involved in this project over the years. And no matter who came before us, one theme kept coming up, that there is a real widespread concern about how the Kentucky Communications Network Authority, or KCNA, is currently overseeing this project. I don't have to remind everyone here on this committee of the controversy that has followed Kentucky Wired since its inception. The IT Oversight Committee has made several recommendations regarding KCNA's budget, but those we'll save for another day. What brings me here today is a simple but important step, and I believe just a first step that we should take and need to take right now to get fresh eyes and a stronger oversight on KCNA. Our committee substitute to House Bill 314 reorganizes how the Commonwealth manages the Kentucky Wired Network. To put it plainly, the bill consolidates the authority, the personnel, and the oversight of Kentucky Wired into the state's Central Technology Agency, an agency that already manages almost all of the Commonwealth's other IT assets in state government. In doing so, it does move KCNA out of its current position as an independent, largely unchecked body. There are several key provisions in the committee sub to House Bill 314. The first one, that it does move KCNA into the Finance and Administration Cabinet and under COT leadership. It will no longer be attached to the office of the governor. It becomes part of the Finance and Administration Cabinet. The executive director of COT becomes the head of KCNA, replacing KCNA's separate executive director, which is abolished in this position. It's also worth noting, I think, here that the current executive director of KCNA has submitted his resignation following our January the 12th meeting of the IT Oversight Committee, which was the same day that I filed this bill, House Bill 314. I won't speculate on the timing, but I do think it probably makes our discussion here today that much more timely. The second provision is it transfers all KCNA functions into COT, all KCNA responsibilities, including maintenance, oversight, all of the network management, contract compliance, and financial reporting are all reassigned to existing personnel employed by the Commonwealth Office of Technology. All KCNA documents, files, and records transfer to COT. By June 30th of this year, COT must decide which former KCNA staff, if any, will be retained. Point number 3, the bill restructures the KCNA board. The board is reconstituted with several new members, including the CIO of the Kentucky Department of Education as chair, the Commissioner of Agriculture, the Secretary of State, the State Treasurer, a representative from the Center for Rural Development. The governor will appoint one member from a list of 3 names that are submitted by the Kentucky Association of Counties, and the governor will appoint one member from a list of 3 names submitted by Kentucky League of Cities. The board retains responsibility for planning, for fiscal oversight, rate setting, for monitoring performance under the Kentucky Wired Partnership, and directing these upgrades on the network. There is also included an emergency clause because taking effect immediately once it's passed has significant budget implications that will reduce a lot of the spending right now by Kentucky Wired. With that, Mr. Chairman, I will take any questions.
Second.
There has been a motion on the bill by Representative Tipton and a second by Representative Tate. We do have some questions at this time, a few, but I would like to just ask one at this time, Representative. If I understood you correctly, I think that you stated that on the reorganization of this new board, that the governor would still be allowed to make two, would actually be allowed to make 2 appointments to that. Was that correct?
Yes, sir, that is correct.
And those appointments would come from where?
Those
The
appointments,
individuals would come from where?
the individuals would come from a list submitted by KCO and KLC, both. So KLC will submit a list and of 3 names. The governor will choose one of those 3. and then KCO will submit a list of 3 names, and the governor will choose one of those 3.
And currently, the governor chooses all?
All of them, yes, sir.
Currently, the governor chooses all of them.
That's correct.
Those board members. Representative Lehman, you have the first question.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you for the presentation. Just, if you don't mind to help me. So there was the original bill. We got an email with the sub 1, and then this says number 2.
Yes.
I don't think I got this by email. I could have ever. So could you help just walk through what the
Yes,
2
sir.
different subs, and just so
Sure.
I can catch up on that?
Yes, sir. Wonderful question. So, the committee sub 2 added the 2 appointments by the governor. So that's the only change in that committee sub, was giving the governor those 2 appointments on the board.
Okay, so that's the only difference for this sub 2 that we're reading here is what we got.
And the
emailed
committee
last
sub
night.
1, yes. So
Okay.
committee sub 1 removed the attorney general off of the board at his request because he said if he had to bring litigation against KCNA, he did not want to be on the board. So that was committee sub 1, and then committee sub 2 added the 2 governor's appointments.
Okay, thank you. And apologies for not routing that through the chair.
That's all right,
follow up.
sir.
I'll learn my lesson. So
I
thank you.
do want to point out one thing too, Mr. Chairman. After we had done the committee sub as well, I've heard from a couple of stakeholders as well. On page, I believe it's page 4, lines 16 through 22. It talks about the following officials shall serve as members on the board of directors of the nonprofit organization incorporated under Kentucky Wired. We will end up doing a floor amendment to actually strike this language out, but I do want to discuss very briefly what this means. There is a nonprofit that's established under Kentucky Wired and KCNA that gets to elect their own board, that gets to basically do whatever they want to do, and in my opinion, acts as a shield from state government under the guise of a nonprofit. We're not going to have, in terms of my opinion, the merits of that. I do think it's bad governance when we have state government entities establishing nonprofits to go under the oversight of the General Assembly. But to be above board, to make sure that we are crossing all of our T's and dotting our I's, and doing things completely legal, we are going to strike that paragraph and come back and revisit that at a different time.
Representative Williams.
Quick question, Chairman.
Yes, go right ahead, please.
So sometimes we lose sight of the scale, and you may not have this number in front of you, but how much has Kentucky Wired Network project cost? How long has it been going on?
Kentucky Wired was actually established under Steve Beshear and has been since that period of time an absolute disaster. We don't have time in this meeting to go through that, but cost is in the billions, and it has been. I've received emails from the Kentucky Department of Education, which is the biggest subscriber to Kentucky Wired, asking for help, saying that they are having issues with KCNA, the current board. And to me, it really goes back to, in that instance, supporting our schools, giving them the tools that they need. They need internet connectivity, and they need it fast. And what KCNA is providing is not that at all. So this, in essence, helps our schools as well. But to answer your question, I don't have that exact number in front of me.
Yeah.
But it's a lot.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Representative Gentry.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you, Representative, for the presentation. I'm a little bit familiar with the history of Kentucky Wired. I know all the challenges and issues they've had over the years. And I got a simple question. Have you spoken with anybody in the finance cabinet, administration cabinet, and
Yes.
are they in favor of this change?
I don't know that they would be in favor, but I did speak to them as early as this morning. We have had ongoing conversations over the interim with a lot of different members, and if there was anybody that was opposed, it might be them. But outside of that, every organization that's been involved with Kentucky Wired appreciates the changes that we're going for, knows that changes have to be made. This is simply a first step. I believe there's going to be other steps. This is step number one to put fresh eyes on this project and to hopefully get it steered in the right direction.
Just a quick follow-up question.
Yes, please, go right
Thank
ahead.
you, Mr. Chair. Just to let you know, I've received some communication from them, and they've told me they have major concerns with your bill. Do you have intentions to talk about them anymore? I'm sorry, I don't know what the specifics are.
No, that's okay.
Because I hadn't had a chance to talk to them either.
I
but I'm
talked
just
to
gonna
them
relay
this
it.
morning, and one of them was what I brought up in terms of the nonprofit. The other, I believe, is not a valid concern that I've talked with them about. So, as a bill goes, of course, as you know, going through committees, going on the Senate side, and so forth. I'm always open to suggestions, always, open to the details, but the main structure of this is exactly what we need to do.
Okay, and just one final quick
Yes,
question.
please,
Sorry.
go right ahead.
And did I understand you correctly earlier? You're going to do a floor amendment to address the nonprofit
Yes, sir.
issue which was the concern, or one of the concerns that they brought
yes,
up?
sir. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So there will be a floor amendment that strikes that language.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yes, sir.
Representative Tipton.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'm just going to comment on the bill, if I may. Chair Hale, as I look around this committee room, I believe that you and I are the only members on this committee that were serving in the General Assembly when that contract was signed.
Don't age us.
On the very last day of the Steve Beshear administration. That was one of the most disappointing and frustrating experiences I've had as a member of the General Assembly, because originally they changed the terms of that contract from what we had been led to believe, and the potential liability shifted from the third-party entity to the taxpayers of Kentucky. And the taxpayers of Kentucky have been paying for this every since then, and we're going to continue to pay for it. The rollouts have been slow. The problems exist. I've heard from school districts, from counties, and I applaud you for bringing this forth effort. What we're doing is simply not working. Broadband is like rural electricity was when rural electric came into our state years ago. It is a necessary utility. Our citizens deserve it. We have more people who are working from home and need that option. Our schools need it. So thank you for bringing this forward, and I wholeheartedly will be supporting the measure today. Thank you, Representative.
Thank you.
Is there any further discussion or question? Representative Tate.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I appreciate the opportunity to speak about this bill, and I appreciate you bringing this forward. You know, as a member of the Capital Planning Advisory Committee, and I was, responsible for that committee for an interim, but I certainly appreciate you bringing this bill forward. Whenever we talked about Kentucky Wired under that committee, there were so few opportunities for people to claim responsibility. There were millions of dollars of parts and tools that they exceeded their shelf life before they were ever used. And from my perspective, that is a gross misrepresentation of the tax dollars of Kentucky. So I sincerely appreciate you bringing this forward, and I will support this wholeheartedly. Thank you.
Any further questions? Seeing no further questions, Madam Secretary, please call the roll.
Representative Decker,
Yes.
Representative Donworth, Representative Gentry,
I'll explain my vote real quick.
Yes, go ahead, please.
I'm going to be a pass today until I've had more time to discuss with people with finance cabinet, and but I do applaud your efforts to improve a program that has been struggling. So I will keep my options open to the floor and have those discussions that I need to have. Thank you.
Representative Griffey,
Yes.
Representative Hancock,
Pass.
Representative Hodgson, Representative Huff, Representative Imes,
Yes.
Representative Johnson,
Yes.
Representative Lehman,
I'll pass.
Representative Lewis,
Yes.
Representative Maddox,
Yes.
Representative Proctor,
Yes.
Representative Raymer,
Yes.
Representative Tate,
Yes.
Representative Thompson,
Yes.
Representative Tipton,
Yes.
Representative Williams,
Yes.
Representative Witten,
Yes.
Chair Hale.
Yes. House Bill 314, as amended by the committee substitute, passes with 15 yes votes and 3 pass votes with favorable expression, and should do the same on the House floor. Thank you, Representative Lockett.
Thank you,
your
Mr. Chairman.
presentation. Thank everyone today for being here for our first meeting. We will be meeting probably pretty regular every Thursday at noon.